Now you'll know my future wife. Just watch this. This video wasn't something I planned, it just happened. One slow afternoon while I was sitting alone with my thoughts and a heart full of feelings I didn't know how to say out loud. I looked at my phone camera, paused for a few seconds, and hit record. This video is not about being perfect. It's not some fancy announcement. It's not scripted. It's just me, speaking straight from the middle of my chest, for one reason only, to finally show who she is. My future wife. The person I talk about quietly when no one's listening. The one I mention with a soft smile when people ask me, "Why do you seem happier these days?" The one I've been keeping in my heart like a secret I wasn't ready to share, until now. I say my future wife because that's how it feels. Not just hope, not just a wish, but a knowing. Deep and honest. This video, it starts simple. A shaky camera, my hand holding it tight, and my voice a little nervous. But I start talking. About how we met in the most unexpected way. About how I didn't think it would go anywhere at first. Just a moment, just a chat, just a normal conversation. But it grew. And I grew with it. I talk about how she doesn't even realize what she means to me. She thinks I'm the strong one, the one always in control. But what she doesn't know is how many days I got through because of her kind words, her small laughs, the way she sees the best in me, even when I feel like I have nothing to offer. She doesn't ask for much, never demands, never complains. She waits. Even when it's hard, she listens. Even when I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling. And she loves in a way that feels soft but strong, the kind of love that stays even when life gets messy. I explain all that in the video. Every little thing. Every reason why I'm sure. Every reason why she's not just someone I care about, but someone I see beside me forever. And right when you think I'm just talking endlessly about feelings, I do something different. I flip the camera. Just for a second. Just long enough for you to see her. She doesn't know I'm recording. She's sitting there, lost in her own little world, reading something, or maybe just daydreaming. Her hair is a little messy. She's wearing the same cozy clothes she always does when she's around me. She's not trying to be perfect. And that's what makes her perfect. I whisper something then, just 5 words. And they're not planned. They just fall out. This is my future wife. No name, no spotlight, no music, just truth. And that's when the video ends. But I want you to keep watching. Not for some big twist, not for drama, but for the quiet proof that sometimes love doesn't need loud gestures. It just needs real moments. Now you'll know. You'll see it too. After I posted the video, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't even tell her. It was late at night when I uploaded it. No hashtags, no captions, no attention-grabbing titles. Just the video, out there in the world, a quiet message with a loud meaning. And then, slowly, something started happening. The views didn't explode like some viral moment, but the people who did watch it, they felt it. I started getting messages from friends, even people I hadn't spoken to in months. "Bro, that hit deep. Who is she? I've never seen you this soft. Now I believe in love again. No lie." One message said, "I cried, not because it's sad, but because it's real." That one stayed with me. But the one I was really waiting for was hers. She hadn't seen it yet. Or maybe she had and didn't know how to bring it up. That was the hard part, not knowing if she'd be touched by it or feel overwhelmed. I saw her the next day. She walked into the room like usual, with that calm energy she always carries, like nothing in the world could rush her. She looked at me, smiled, and asked, "Did you sleep okay?" I said, "Yeah, just thinking a lot lately." She nodded, didn't ask more. She never pushes. We went about the day like normal. Ate, talked, laughed. But I kept watching her from the corner of my eye, waiting to see any sign that she knew, any sign that she had watched the video. And then, while we were sitting on the couch, she took out her phone, opened a message, and I saw the screen light up with my video. Someone had sent it to her. Not me. She clicked play, and I froze. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe right. I just watched her, watching me, watching herself, hearing the words I had said the way I had said them. Her face didn't change much at first, just calm, focused. Then I saw her eyes blink faster than usual. She paused the video, looked down for a moment, and whispered, "You really said all that?" I nodded. "I didn't even know you saw me that way," she said quietly. "I see you every day," I replied, "but I never knew how to say it until now." She sat there in silence for a while, holding the phone in her hands like it was something fragile. Then she smiled. Not the big, excited kind, just the kind that said everything without saying anything at all. I didn't need her to say she loved it. I didn't need her to say she loved me. The way she looked at me in that moment told me everything I had been hoping to hear. It was like she finally understood that this wasn't just a story I told in private anymore. It was real. It was ours. And now, the whole world could see it. Not the world with flashing lights and followers, but the world that mattered. The people who cared. The people who've been part of our story without even knowing. And maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something even bigger. The next morning started out slow, just like any other weekend. But it didn't stay normal for long. She called me around 10 a.m. Her voice sounded a little shaken, but not in a bad way. More like something unexpected had happened. I didn't show anyone the video, she said softly, but my cousin found it. She sent it in the family group. I sat up straight. Wait, your whole family saw it? Yeah, she said, with a breathy laugh, like she wasn't sure whether to be embarrassed or proud. Even my dad. Now that got me quiet. Her dad was, let's say, not the easiest man to impress. He always looked at me like I had more to prove, like I was standing in a room too big for me, and he was just waiting to see if I'd fall flat. He watched the whole thing, she continued, and then he just said one line. So, this is the boy. I didn't know if that was a good thing or a warning. I asked her, did he sound mad? She laughed gently. No, he sounded surprised. Not mad, just surprised that you were that serious about me. That sentence hit different, because for so long, I'd felt like I had to keep things small. Our love, our plans, our connection. I had to keep it quiet, respectful, under the radar, just to not stir anything in her family too fast. We didn't want drama. We didn't want pressure. We just wanted time. But now, the video had spoken for me. It had said things I didn't know how to say in front of all of them. It showed them how I looked at her when no one was watching. It showed them what I really meant when I said, she's the one. She told me my mom cried. She didn't even say anything, just sat there holding her tea, and her eyes were red. I didn't expect that. Not from her mom, a woman who always kept things proper and distant. But somehow, just seeing her daughter being loved like that, even through a screen, broke something open in her. And then came the unexpected part. Her brother messaged me. We'd never had a proper conversation before. Just polite nods, handshakes, and small talk at gatherings. But now, I was staring at a message from him that said, "Didn't think you had that kind of heart. Respect." That one sentence changed the way I felt about everything. I wasn't trying to prove myself, not really, but maybe I had. Not by showing off. Not by boasting or trying to win them over. Just by being honest and letting my love speak louder than my silence ever could. That evening, she called again. "I think it's time," she said. "Time for what?" I asked, even though a part of me already knew. "For you to come over, properly, sit down with my parents, officially." My heart was racing, but I kept my voice calm. "You sure?" "I've never been more sure." There was a pause, long and quiet. Then she said, "Now they've seen what I see, finally." I spent the next 2 days in a quiet kind of panic. The kind where everything looks calm from the outside, but inside your chest, it feels like a storm is building. I didn't even know what I was nervous about exactly. I had loved her honestly. I had spoken with my heart. But there's always something intimidating about walking into a room where people once doubted you, especially when those people are the ones closest to the person you love. I stood outside her house for a few seconds longer than I should have. She opened the door before I could knock, like she knew I was just standing there, gathering myself. She smiled, not her usual playful smile, but a gentle one, the kind that says, "I'm here," without words. "You okay?" she asked, barely above a whisper. I nodded, but the look in my eyes probably gave me away. Inside, the house smelled like cardamom tea and fresh floor polish. Everything looked too clean, too arranged, like they were expecting someone important. I guess maybe they were. Her dad sat at the far end of the living room, reading glasses on, phone in hand. He looked up when I entered, then removed the glasses slowly and gave me a steady look. Her mom was already setting the table, fussing over teacups that didn't need to be moved. Her younger cousin was in the corner, pretending not to watch us, but definitely watching. "Come, sit," her dad said finally, his voice steady but not cold. I sat across from him, hands resting on my knees. Her mom brought tea. Nobody touched it right away. Then her dad said, "You made a video." I nodded, swallowing. "Yes, sir." "You said a lot in that video." I meant every word. He looked at me for a moment, then leaned back in his chair. "I never asked you what your intentions were," he said. "Maybe because I didn't think you were serious, but now you've made it clear." I could feel her shift beside me, like she was holding her breath. "I've seen how men talk when no one's watching," her dad continued. "Your video? That wasn't for show. That was personal, honest. We all saw it." I stayed quiet. There was nothing I could add that would feel more real than that. After a long pause, her mom finally spoke. "She's always been stubborn, our girl. Follows her heart too much. But this time, maybe she's chosen right." That felt like a door creaking open. Not wide, not fully, but enough. Her dad looked at me again, and this time, the weight in his eyes had changed. "Do you really want to marry her?" he asked, direct and sharp. I didn't blink. "More than anything." "And you're ready for what comes with that? Family, responsibility, loyalty?" "Yes, sir." He nodded slowly, then leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. "Then next time you come here," he said, "don't come as a guest, come as family." The silence that followed hit different. Her hand found mine under the table. Her grip was tight, shaky. I turned to look at her, and she had tears in her eyes. For the first time in all our time together, we weren't just fighting for a future. We were finally being welcomed into one. After that evening, everything started to feel different. Not because things got easier, but because now it finally felt like we weren't alone in this. The next few days were full of small, quiet moments that meant more than any big celebration ever could. Her mother sent food over with a neighbor, saying it was extra, but we both knew it wasn't. Her father sent a message through her, asking if I could join him for tea again, just us two. And I did. Nervously, yes, but I went. That second meeting was slower, more personal. He didn't ask many questions this time. He just talked about his own journey, about how love scared him when he was younger, how he made mistakes, how he once almost lost the woman he loved just because he didn't know how to handle the fear of what if. And then he looked at me and said, "She's like her mother, heart first, logic second. Just take care of her heart, son." I didn't know what to say. I just nodded and promised I would. That weekend, she and I finally sat down to talk about everything. Like really talk. We weren't just in that honeymoon bubble anymore. Now we were asking questions that mattered. Where would we live? Would we do a big wedding or keep it small? What if something goes wrong? How do we handle that? I remember asking her, "Are you really ready to leave everything behind for me?" And she looked at me, calm and honest, and said, "I'm not leaving anything. I'm bringing my whole world with me. To you." That moment, it just hit me hard. Like everything I had been trying to say through videos, posts, messages, she already knew. She had felt it all without me needing to explain it. She told me how people had judged her for waiting on me, for loving me quietly without public proof. Some said she was wasting her time. Others said I'd never be brave enough to choose her in front of the world. And yet, she stayed. She held on, not blindly, but because she believed. So now it was my turn to do more than just believe. I had to act.